Hello and welcome to my first flight sim VOR full flight video. And with the reality expansion pack for the default Cessna 172, I will be going from Telluride to Gunnison with only VORs and no waypoints. Alright, let's get started. So in the cockpit with the reality expansion pack, or REP, which is I'll be calling it many times in this video, we have the knee board, mass and balance, walk around and tell. Knee board's basically just our checklist. So walk around. We can get started with our pre-flight. Alright, so parking brake is set, ignition is off. Just toggle this yoke. Even arch master's off. Master switch, you turn that on. Fuel quantity. Alright, after some rough estimates, we got this. 9 gallons for the left, 9 gallons for the right, 51 minutes of flight time, and for the load, 165 pounds in the front, assuming that's our weight here. Rear seats and the we call the co-pilot seat, no pounds because it's going to be only me traveling. Baggages, none, just assuming it's none since it's not like an overnight trip or something like that. So make sure this is in pounds we can apply. All right. Plane is loaded and fuel quantity indicators checked. Flaps, we can extend those. And the master switch we can turn off. Alright, fuel selector valve is on both. I saw earlier. Fuel shutoff valve is in, which is on. Static pressure alternate source valve is also in, which means on. Trim control is neutral. Package door, since this isn't realistic enough to check for security, we're just gonna assume it's all secured. I'm gonna check elevator, we're keeping it pressed. Check rudder. And we can toggle the tie down. And we can check our emergency locator antenna. Now, I can't really check for integrity because I'm not actually in Telluride right now, but flaps checked. Ailerons, good. Wing tie down, we can disconnect this. Fuel quantity and color. Water pivot animation is none, so that is good. We can toggle the wheel chocks. And oil quantity is good, same with the color. Air inlets, we can toggle the cover. There's nothing in them. And that's good. Water contamination is none, and the quantity is good. Get the tube cover, we can toggle this. And we will be checking the lights in a bit. We'll toggle the tie down. And for ailerons, good. Flaps, good. Toggle the chocks to this wheel, and finish. And now we have to do the lights. So we can toggle the lights. Next. Beacon light, good. Nav light, good on this side. Landing and taxi, good. Nav light on this side, good. And toggle. Alright, so finished with our walk around, now we can go and get started with the checklist. So by the knee board, we can make sure our brakes are set, and this is the right page. Okay, it is. Alright. So first, fuel selector, it's on both. Fuel shutoff valve is on in. Circuit breakers checked, even though we can't toggle them. Beacon on. Avionics masters, they are both off. Master switch on. Throttle 1/4 of an inch. I think this is about good. Mixture idle cutoff. And if the engine is cold, which it is, we can turn on the aux pump. Rich. And that's about good. And Box pop again. Gotta make sure our door's open because we gotta yell that the familiar is clear, prop clear, and starter we can engage. Close this. Next page. At engine start. Just remembering how to do this correctly. I think it's this. I'm quickly putting. Got it. Oh, nice. Didn't flood the engine this time. Engine RPM at 1000. So we're gonna have to bring the throttle down just a bit. There we go. Oil pressure. Good. I think. I'm hoping it's good. I'm not sure how to read these, but it's in the green zone. So that looks fine. Leaned max. Now, I didn't do my research on this part, but I'm pretty sure leaned is this amount. Because I'm not sure. This is the amount I did last time and it was okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Avionics, can turn these on. Instruments. We're gonna be ignoring this one. Actually, we're not, because we're still setting our VOR in. We're just not putting any waypoints in. So I'm gonna go ahead and get frequency for our first VOR, which is Montrose. I was correct. All right, so it's gonna be 117.1. 0.1. There we go. MTJ. And now we have to put in the radical. Just gonna push this to the side a little bit more. 168. So we're gonna set that. That's 150, 155, 160, 165. That's 170, 169, 168. So for VOR, it's going to be the opposite of what the radical is. So opposite of 168 is, I think, 350 something. All right, now we have to calibrate our heading because for some reason it's never calibrated. Never figure out why. Unless it is. All right, some rough estimations. I'm going to say this area where I'm pointing to right now is south, and this area is north, which is true, but not exactly on point. And if you know how to calibrate a heading for the Cessna 172, if you could comment that would be great because I'm still familiarly new to this aircraft and the expansion pack. So, anyways, just gonna assume this is the heading that I need. So all of this is done. All right, ignition switches on both. Mixture rich. Engine is not. Nope, it is. Actually, it wasn't. It's now 1000. Oil pressure is now good, and pretty sure I already did these steps. Yeah, I already did. Okay, avionics. Yeah, I already did. All right. Brakes, magnetic compass, and movement free, and flight instruments. Set those. Then we can turn on our taxi lights. And yeah, I can close this for right now. Actually, gotta get my taxi instructions real quick. All right, obviously it's gonna be runway 27 to take off from, as there's no taxiway to get all the way down to runway 9. So let's start. Cockpit here. Can't forget our bobblehead. And now the flight has started. All right, for some basic rules before we take off is number one, this is a VOR only flight, meaning I'm not allowed to use GPS at all. So no waypoints, no autopilot, none of that. Now, because I can see the screen and all the airports and waypoints and VORs around me, I feel like it's not necessarily cheating, but if I want to make this the most authentic VOR style, then I'll just be pressing the message button just to block out GPS on this thing. Now, if I was in a much more realistic sense, then I would simply pull the GPS circuit breaker, and then I couldn't use this thing at all. But I'll just be using message instead. And rule number two, this has to be set to nav at all times. And lastly, the GPS thing again, I believe I should be allowed to use it for flying into airports and seeing where an airport is located, just in case the visibility is low, meaning mountains in the way, because it would be not really the smartest decision to fly VOR during low visibility. Okay, next up, I'm gonna find my checklist. So flight control stream correct, set, flight instrument set, fuel selector both, trim is set, extra bridge run up, autopilot check disconnect, throttle, 1800 RPM. Meter check, engine instruments check, suction check. Now I'm not sure what these two mean, but or this one too. If you want to comment and tell me what that means, that would be helpful because it's my first day using Rev. Magneto's 125.50, and back down to our idle. Radios are set, or your radio set. Brakes, release, doors closed. Flaps are as required, and mixture pitch below 3,000 feet. Okay, transponder is on. I believe it is. Yep, it is. And throttle is on full power. Oops, gotta control that rudder. Gotta really control that rudder. And take off. Alright, takeoff complete. And I can close this since there's no climb checklist. Alright, let's begin the climb. Alright, we are officially flying. I hope we are. That would be bad if we weren't flying. And gonna maintain our speed. And now I think it's called the radial, or the horizontal something. This thing that we're following towards the VOR host is gonna be keep turning, and it's gonna want our plane to turn right. This is my second flight learning VORs, so if you're trying to use this as a tutorial video, I suggest you don't, because this is my first time, and I'm just trying to have fun here. And I also need to adjust my volume because it's super loud. That did not work. Gotta be especially careful of these towering mountains because it's very easy to crash into them. And that would be bad. So I'm gonna try to take it nice and slow up these mountains. Actually, I'm gonna make it a lot easier and just go around them, even though that's avoiding not going the path I'm supposed to be going. But It's better to be safe than crash. Yeah, there would be a chance I wouldn't make it through there. All right, there we go. Gonna go around this big mountain right here. I feel like that would be the safest choice. Probably should have done that first. I don't know why I didn't. This is also conveniently a review video for the Rep or Reality Expansion Pack, as this is my first day or second flight using it, and that's why I'm asking all these questions about it. And I think it's a pretty good add-on. It's about $20 in the store. It's actually $13.99 right now because of the spring sale, so you can go ahead and pick that up. And coming around this mountain so we can get back on track. So again, I don't suggest using this video as a tutorial because it most likely wouldn't help at all. There are plenty of good tutorials out there for VOR navigation, and if you want to use this video as a review for the Reality Expansion Pack, go ahead. I don't mind at all. Alright, so we are approaching, well, we are at 10,000 feet. So that's good. I'm also conveniently new to the airspaces too, so I am gonna try my best to follow airspace regulations. And if I can't, then I can't. And I'm learning in another video. Alright, there we go. Still need to turn right a little bit, as we're not exactly online with what we're supposed to be online with. Just the radio. Now I'm going to try my best to not use the GPS navigation screen or whatever to see other waypoints around me. But if I have to, then I guess I have to, and it shouldn't matter anyway. So without ortho scenery, these are what the mountains look like. They look pretty bland, not like FSX, but it's whatever. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and lean my mixture because I don't want to drain all my fuel. So after I pass this final mountain, I should be good to go. Well, actually, I'm a little more aligned with the horizontal. I forgot what the name was, but with the VOR, I'm more aligned with it. Oops. Didn't know that would do that. There we go. We're aligned with the radio now, and oh wait, I'm only at 2,000 feet. I just realized. Wait, am I? Take a quick look outside. Wonder if my altimeter is even calibrated, which would be a horrible thing to not have it calibrated. It looks like I am. And the altimeter is set to standard, so it doesn't matter that much because I'm not flying online, so I can really fly at my own altitude and my own flight without any problems, such as airspace and stuff. If I was flying online, like on VATSIM, then I would be following all airspace restrictions, altitude restrictions, and of course having calibrated. But it shouldn't matter that much because this is also day one of using the Cessna 172. So this video is basically just a whole learning experience. Alright, I decided I'm going to stop for a refueling in, what is it, Montrose, because I must have miscalculated or misestimated the amount of fuel I need, and I'm most likely going to run out soon. Since this is only the first leg, and the second leg is way longer than this one. And leg as in the first one to the VOR, and the second one to the other VOR, and then to the airport. Alright, the airport is now in sight, so we can start going down. We're a little too high, so I'm going to bring down our throttle. And we're going to start descending. Now, since we don't need the VOR and the airport is visible, we can just slowly descend down, go into a pattern, and land. Now, to make sure that's the right airport. Not sure what runway is. Actually, I'm going to check what runway I can use. Alright, so runway 13 is the one with that we are allowed to land at. We are runway 13. So we're gonna, I can't really draw it, but if you can see where my mouse is right now, take my mouse and we're gonna go up and turn and land. So let's get out my checklist. Selector both engine gauges, check, and my RPM is way too low, but we're going in for a landing, so it should be fine. And altimeter setting, radio set, autopilot off, make sure. Rich, flaps down, 65 to 75 approach speed. Okay. All right, now gonna begin my pattern for the runway. We're now on, not on our downwind. We're approaching our downwind though. We're actually too low now, so we need to climb up. We don't want to be too low, and looks like the winds are uh, really pushing our aircraft out here. Unless that's me, and my rudder's a little faulty right now. That could just be that. But we are now on our downwind, and we're gonna approach our base soon. Start adding a flap soon. Or right now, we're at flap speed. All right, gonna enter base now, and we're gonna put in 25. For normal landing procedures, let me look real quick. Let's just say down. I'm not sure what down is. Okay, and we're gonna turn final. Gotta make sure my landing low it is. All right. In line with those poppies. Basically safe to land. All conditions are normal, and that is no. We gotta go to the next page. Transponder off, flaps up. All right, here comes the landing. I will mark this as a chapter in the video, so you know when the first leg ends. Oh yeah, butter. Look at that flare. That flare was amazing. Okay. So once we exit the runway, we can not gonna shut down our engine, we're just refueling. Well, I guess we can because we technically have to. Yeah, don't want to foul. All right. All right, now we can start our after landing. So all these lights can turn off. Well, except okay. Transponder, turn this off, and flaps can go up. trim neutral. So now let's go to the ramp so we can start our refueling process, and then we'll start our second leg to finish this VOR flight. Okay. And just like that, we are done for our first leg. Shut down, go to idle, means at 1000 RPM. avionics, electrical equipment, we can turn those off. Make sure you can set this to cutoff, and master and alternator to switch. Turn these off, and ignition key off. Ignition declare shield. Don't need a secure aircraft, we just need to refill. So, back to this. I'm setting the values 165 for seat. I don't need to change this. Refilling to 9 gallons, and this flight time is only 30 minutes. So I'm gonna fill our tanks, and that's definitely not what I wanted. I think it's already filled. Unless I think it's filled. It says it is. Alright, let's just assume that it is. Okay. So let's go back to the takeoff or engine start. First turn on our beacon. And avionics master is off, so we can turn on the master switch. Avionics is off, and I meant turn on the master switch. So we'll pull this one forward. Now auto cut off, engine on, engine cold. It's not, so we're just gonna. I think cold means it's brand new day and starting out, and engine's cold means it has no fuel in it, and engine hot means it has fuel in it, and you just don't have to pump fuel in it with the fuel pump. So let's do our, and looks like our prop clear, so we can do prop clear, and set our starter on. Where'd my sound go? There we go. All right. Make sure your engine start. Engine is at 1000 RPM. All right. And oil pressure, it's all good. Lean to max. And flaps, retract. We need to do that. Avionics on instruments. So we gotta find the next view. Selecting Skyvector. Okay, it's 114.9. was this on? Okay. That's not right. Oh, there we go. All right, so it's 114.9. And switch that and HPU. Right? Oh, yeah, it is. And a radical of 260. Gotta make sure my heading's right real quick. All right, heading is west after. Heading is right after a quick check, so we're on northwest. And radical is, or radial is 260, so we put that in. Opposite of 260, that's 12. Need to go this way. 210, 240, 245, 250, 255, 260. Right. That is, so that's the opposite. That's where we need to set our heading. So it's going to be, that's the complete wrong way. Nope, whoops. It's going to be at 65, 70, 75, 80, right at 80. 75, 80. Boom. Okay, we're pretty much set to go. So instrument set and begin our taxi. Turn that taxi light. We're sticking at 1,000 RPM. And for our takeoff today, Alright, so it looks like we take free 5, or I think that was, forgot what was. Okay, free 1. We're gonna take free 5 because it's the closest and it's we can turn easily for the VOR. Our top altitude is 12,500. That's what the chart says, at least. Alright, since we're crossing a runway, turn on our strobe lights. I don't need to ask for permission to cross this runway because I am not on VATSIM, so there is no traffic. And then we can turn off our strobe light. And our runway is going to be right over here. Alright, flight controls, free and corrects. Flight instruments are set. Fuel selector is on both. Elevator trim set. Make sure reach for run up. Autopilot is disconnected. Bump this up to 180. 80 and engine instruments, suction, Amidas, throttle, check down to 1,000. Okay. And next, radios are set. So turn the transmitter on. Door to close the map. Flaps as required and below 3,000 feet. Lights. Landing light, strobe light, taxi light off. Throttle full power and climb is 79 knots. You ready for takeoff? And now we're going to start our last and final leg, which will be the longest one. This one was about 20 minutes, and this one will be about 30 minutes. I am gonna probably cut the video into shorter parts, or probably not. I'll probably just, yeah, I only cut the video for the 20-minute leg about like 2 or 3 times. So I'll probably do this one just a couple times. I want to make this video full length as possible. I probably should have taken off from the other runway. This one is really big runways for like CRJs and stuff, E-jets. Oh, the altimeter was never broke. I just sometimes I forget how this thing works. We were cruising at around 12 to 14,000 feet before. Okay, and now we can begin turning. Now we're at 6,000 feet. Hopefully we don't have to use this anymore, besides for seeing if we're on the right path. So I only used this one time, and that was to see, and I just screwed this up. 245, 250, 255, 260, 260, 262, 262. Okay, let's not do that again. We're gonna have to keep ascending quicker and quicker. We don't want to slip down and hit these mountains. That would be pretty bad. Concerned about this guy here. That's because I'm not leaning. I can't lean right now because I'm not at 3,000 feet. It's once I get to right here, 9,000, I can start to lean the mixture. I'm gonna assume that's why I probably need to look at a couple YouTube tutorials for the Cessna. And look at that departure out of the airport. I'm pretty sure you can look at the Alright, that's pretty cool. I can some radio lines. I can quickly zoom out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's my little pattern right there. And departure over there. Alright. That's one more time. So, fun thing about this route is that we're going to be passing over a lake. Pretty long lake, I meant. And yeah, I think that'll be a pretty cool sight to see. Even though I don't have orphos, but it's whatever. Okay, we can lean the throttle, the mixture a little bit now, and look at the fuel flow. Oh yeah, instantly dropped to a good amount. Perfect. I was able to see how much weight I had left. Little scratches on the glass. Doesn't look good. There's scratches behind here. Don't want to get too, of course. Let's see our flight path again. That was pretty dang high up there. Look at that descent. That's a bad descent. We coming to wind? Is that wind I see? That's not wind, that's rain. Where's all that rain coming from? I did set the weather to look at that ridge over there. I could get off course and actually we're entering the ridge. Never mind. Don't want to get too off course, but that ridge is amazing. Even without waterfalls, it's still pretty to look at. So maintaining a good actually I could speed up a little bit. We're at 75 knots, which is our climb speed. Oh, is that the lake? That must be the lake. Oh, that's just a river. The lake must be up ahead. My uh, map, maybe if I'm. Yeah, this is a river that leads to the lake I was talking about earlier. This is the fun of VOR flying because there's no need for waypoints and stuff for those nav aids. We can just use the VORs to us where to go. That's like the I think like the best way to fly. That water is looking ugly. Yeah. Oh, default Xplane water is not the prettiest, but this ridge looks pretty dang cool. Anyways, alright. The annoying sound I'm hearing right now that's like blasting through my headsets is apparently you guys can't hear it because I just checked all the stream, all the audio, so I paused it so I didn't lose attention to the aircraft. But what I'm hearing, you guys can't hear. So I can describe it. It's a very loud fan noise coming from like the back of the plane. I can't hear it outside, so that's why I like videoing outside, so I can actually hear myself. All right, so ridge, pretty to look at. But it looks like with Morphos probably looks really good. So let's continue. Don't know if you could see it, but right over there where my mouse is, if I just go down, because we're at 12,000, we can start the cruise now. Right over here is, oh yeah, we don't want to exceed 12,500. Well, we already did, so we got to start descending a little bit. All right, so that is the lake over there that I was talking about. Kind of see it right over there, so that's where our VOR basically is. It's at the end of that lake over there, and then it will just be a straight shot into the airport. Alright, from my chart, the VOR should end around over here, which is towards the end of the lake, so you can see my mouse, assuming you can. It's gonna be right this area. And then the runway, of course, is visible, so we're gonna do, since that runway right there is for ILS and localized nose landing, we're gonna have to do sort of an RNAV approach and turn around and rocket enter a pattern and just go into the runway. So at this time, I'm gonna start descending. So don't come in super late next time, or again. And at this point, the radio signals or whatever are gonna start getting all over the place. They get really close together at where the host is or where the host viewer is. So that's a good indicator telling us that we've reached our VOR and we should continue on to the next VOR or go into the airport. I learned that today. So at this point, we can stop following the VOR since the airport is now in sight. And we just have to go down to the airport. Alright, now we're about to enter a downwind for runway 24. I believe that's T4. So it's in the chart. Yep, that is runway 24 indeed. We're gonna have to be careful about this little hill or mountain. It looks more like a hill. And we're gonna have to start setting our... Okay, before landing, seatbelts can select our engine gauges, handing in a line. Radios on off, make sure it's already on rich. Flaps down. Okay. Oh, that's why I didn't show up on the... That must be a gliding runway, from my assumption. So I was wondering why that wasn't showing up on the chart. But on the map right here, it does. So. Okay, we're gonna get in more. And there's our airport. That's where we'll be parking. Alright, begins at downwind. Bringing the first set of flaps down. Set our throttle again. Alright, begin turning base. Gonna have to do this quickly because we're a little too close to the runway. Alright, that's just enough. Not exactly a base, more like a turn straight into final, but it's okay. Alright, let's land this aircraft. Turn on our next set of flaps. And we can bring down the throttle just a bit, and we're way too high. That would cause it to go around if we got a little closer. Alright, and landing time. We spec down to 1000 RPM. And now we're floating. This will not be a smooth landing after all. Alright, definitely was not the best landing. One at the previous airport was like 10 times better than this landing. Let's just focus on taxiing to the ramp now and ending this flight. As this has been a long 2 hours and 20 minutes of filming. Okay. GA hangars are going to be down there. Looks like that's an EJ over there. Or an A321, I don't know. Actually, more like an A18. No, that's an EJ for sure. And why is it Alaskan? Why are the windows like that? I didn't even know this airport had terminals. Not exactly the most GA airport, but it works. Don't get too close to the other sensor. Don't want the spark plugs to foul. And go ahead and park right over here. Alright, not exactly on the line, but it's good enough. Alright, now throttle. Avionics, turn those off. Mixture, cut off. And switch ignition off. Okay. Shocks. Post flight. Pita tube. Tie down. Tie down. Shocks. Covers. Oil leaks. Wait, did I drive by? Oh, okay. I did not. Alright. Okay, so that is gonna put away our Austin there. And that is it for our first VOR full flight. Actually, full flight besides the like 2 or 3 30-second cuts, but basically a full flight. And that's going to conclude this entire video. So I hope you enjoyed, because I sure did, and I'll see you on the next one.